Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Ram Man, the heroic human battering ram from the Masters of the Universe Origins line from Mattel. This is one I've been looking forward to for a long time. This is the last figure that I have yet to review from the first wave of Deluxes, and I think we're getting ready to move into the third wave of Deluxes, so I do apologize. This one's been a long time coming. But even though he was probably my most anticipated figure from the first wave of Deluxes, he was the one I definitely had the hardest time tracking down. So I never found this guy in person in a store, but I was finally able to get one from Big Bad Toy Store, so I'm very excited to finally add him to the collection. He was always a favorite character of mine as a kid, especially with the toy, because he did have the spring-loaded gimmick. As you can see here in the word bubble, we have spring-loaded body that blasts back, and you just kind of pushed him down, and he had a little button in the back of his foot, and then he would kind of spring forward and attack. And I don't know why as a kid that was always my favorite gimmick out of all the Motu stuff. So very, very excited to get this one in this new Origins format, because even though he does still have that spring-loaded gimmick, he actually has leg articulation, which is something the original toy absolutely did not have. So I'm really looking forward to see how they worked this out, because I think it's actually really, really interesting and really a neat engineering feat as far as this goes. So I'm very excited to check this out. But as we can see here, we have Ram Man over here. You get an extra head, you get some weapons, you get an extra fist. So because it is a deluxe, you do get those extra accessories that also bumps it from the normal $14.99 to the higher $19.99, as all the deluxe figures usually are. But if we go ahead and we spin around to the back, some pretty cool artwork up there of Ram Man smashing into Faker and Skeletor looking on in the background. So pretty cool, pretty cool. The powerhouse Ram Man uses his head in battle, bowling down enemies and destroying weapons. So there you go. And then it just shows how the gimmick works, and of course it talks about the articulation. And then you can see down here all four of the figures from the first wave of Deluxes, and then Panther just thrown on the end since he came out around the same time. So really fun, colorful packaging, very nostalgic with the exploding red rock and the blue night sky up there. So love the packaging, even love the little extra illustration of Ram Man up here. So love this packaging. Let's get him out of here. Let's take a closer look. So here he is out of the packaging, and Ram Man looks great. Really exactly as I remember him from when I was a kid. They just did a great job recreating this. But of course he does have a lot more articulation points. Really nice silver paint up here on the shoulder pad, like armor harness. But this is definitely a softer plastic. You can see it's a little squishy, almost a little rubbery, and I believe that's just so it doesn't hinder the articulation, which is nice, because before I think his arms were solid and you could just kind of like rotate the whole arm from side to side, but now he's got full shoulders, so you can see the hinge joint there as well as the rotation. So the shoulder pad here does still hinder it a little bit, but not really that much. He does have the hinge and rotation in the elbow as well as a hinge and rotation in the wrist. Nothing in the torso here. Now, I was a little bit more excited. I don't want to say I'm let down, because I'm definitely not let down. It definitely makes sense. But I thought he was going to have a full hip joint, and that's why I was really interested to see how this was going to work. And I feel like they probably could have still done it. But what they did was they decided to, I know it would be a lot more difficult, but they've decided to kind of make the hip area one solid piece, as you can see there, but he does still have knee joints. So he's got the hinge and the rotation in the knee. It kind of looks like he's got a boot swivel as well, but I don't think so. I think it's just a different bit of plastic. They just obviously cast the boots out of black plastic, and that's where the two different colors of plastic meet. But I mean, it's still nice. I mean, you get some articulation where before you had absolutely none. So I do appreciate that they gave us some. Just the back of the card makes it look like he's going to have some hip articulation as well. And like I said, you probably could have still done it if you would have kind of put that up here inside. But the way this works, you push it down and it kind of clicks into place, and then you push it down again and he kind of hops up. So if you wanted to kind of bend him at the knee, although I guess that really wouldn't work because we want him to bend forward. So he'd have to have like reverse knees or something. Well, anyway. So I think the way that works, it totally makes sense. I feel like you probably could have still had, you know, the piece up here that goes in and out, and then had the hips connect into it. But again, it would lead to, you know, if things aren't lined up just right, or if you have the legs out too far, it might make the gimmick not work. And the gimmick obviously is kind of the name of the game for Ram Man, literally. So I understand why that takes priority, and I still agree with that. But he does come with some other accessories here. So we'll take a quick look at the head sculpt, which I think looks pretty good. He comes with an alternate head, which has kind of a closed face mask. And changing the heads is fairly simple. You just go ahead and pop this off. Now, as you can see here, it's just a stationary ball joint. Most of the characters have like a dumbbell ball joint in the neck so that it moves at the base of the skull and the base of the head. I said that wrong. The base of the neck and the base of the skull. He does not. He just has the one solid ball joint. I believe it's just because of the way the head fits into this harness area. But you just pop this on. And you can see that this part of the mask kind of fits in the groove here. So I don't mind that. I mean, the head doesn't even really move around all that much because of the way it fits into the harness. I mean, you can kind of get him to look up a little bit. And you can kind of look a little side to side if you want to kind of move it around. But it's kind of just meant to be one solid piece. So you get a little bit of movement there, but obviously not as much as some of the other characters. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop on the other head. I like it a little bit better. But I do appreciate that it comes with the second option. I think that's really cool. So he does come with 2 weapons. Now, from when I was a kid, I remember he had this axe, and his hand was just kind of a solid piece that just had a hole drilled straight through it. And so you would have to kind of, just feed this through, and that's how he held the axe. But this is actually a gripping hand. Now, it's a little bit rubbery, which I think makes sense so that you can get the weapons in and out pretty easily. So he comes with this axe. He also comes with this axe, which I like a lot. This is a giant, massive axe. This one you're going to have to kind of put into the gripping hand. Now over here he has a closed fist, but you can pop this hand out, and he comes with an alternate hand, which we can go ahead and pop in. There we go. And that is a grasping hand. So if you want him to dual wield axes, you can certainly pull that off, which is excellent. But if you look over here, he's got a little connector, so you can actually build like a crazy giant axe staff weapon, which is pretty cool. So definitely not something I remember the original toy doing. That's really neat. I like that a lot. You could even do, take this out and have him hold on to this part of it. So whichever way you like the look of better. So that's really cool. He can either use, one axe singly, so you have that option. He can dual wield, or you can make this crazy staff monstrosity. I love it. I think that's so cool. It's 2 simple accessories that gives you really like 4 options, and that's absolutely fantastic. So very simple, very effective. Really love the look of both of these axes. I'm so glad that they give you the extra hand so that you can dual wield, but if you do want to have just like a solid punching fist, you have that option. And then again, you have the extra head. And I love how they have the molded detail. He's got a chunk out of the head because he's obviously been smashing it into things. So a lot of great molded detail, great paint applications. Although I would honestly say that he probably doesn't have a ton of paint applications, because I would venture to guess that this plastic is molded and the green is molded and the black is molded. I would say maybe the belt is painted, and certainly the belt buckle. And then this might be a different colored plastic, then painted silver. And I would assume definitely the gauntlets are painted. But either way, really nice paint applications. He looks great. The articulation, I wish he had hips, but I get it. I completely understand why the gimmick is more important for Ram Man. And certainly way more articulation than the original had from back when I was a kid. So this guy's great. I'm really happy to finally have him in my collection. Well, I wanted to show off real quick. He does come with a mini comic. It's the exact same mini comic as all the rest of the first wave of Deluxes. So if you've seen this one before, it's exactly the same. But I wanted to at least point it out. He also comes with this little piece of paper that shows that you can actually swap some of the limbs around. For him, it's really just the head and the arms, because the legs are affixed. But in any case, I think that's a cool gimmick. I love the fact that he can... and it would work a lot better if I actually pointed him at something, but he's still awesome. I love the axes. I love the battering ram gimmick. Ram Man's just absolutely fantastic. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.